The door is closed. The door is closed. The door is closed. Okay? The damn door is closed, darling. I'll tell you what, that damn Nene Leakes is one of the funniest. Nene is so funny. I haven't seen her comedy special. But on the show, Nene is hilarious. She's absolutely hilarious. Now, y'all know I done read Nene many times in the past and will continue to. You know, because, Nene had kind of fell out with the audience, for a while. And, it was a lot that was going on. But I'll tell you what, Lanithia, you have... belching moments. You have definitely got some fans back. I will tell you that, child. Oh, it was just so funny. It was a mess. Kim felt attacked and helpless and damsel in distress, and of course she would, darling. What other role she got to play at this point? Let's see, child. It was just shouting matches. It was just a whole lot of blah 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 blah, back and forth all day. I'm not gonna get all into everything they were saying because, to be honest with you, I don't remember. It was so quick. It was so fast. Whoop to whoop to whoop. I gotta get a better camera so y'all can see the effects. A lot of hand waving and shit. It was a mess. It was a mess. But Nene and Kim been arguing for years, child. I mean, hell. Nene ain't scared of Kim and Kim ain't scared of Nene, child. Neither one of them are gonna really do anything to each other, let's be honest. But it's cute to watch and look at. Okay. So what else is going on? So they started off where they left off last week, child. Kim and Nene kind of going back and forth a little bit in the shuffle. They get on Sheree. They get on her little Ty storyline with Tyrone. We find out that Sheree is actually dating. And I was just like, Sheree's dating? Who's she dating? But Andy asked her. He was just like, look, if Tyrone don't get out soon, what you gonna do? In your own words. And she says that if he don't get out, apparently he got 2 more years. But then on the show she said 8. And so it's always a bunch of numbers and random stuff with Sheree. Sheree is a scatterbrain. I can be that way sometimes, but I honestly don't mean any harm, and I always tell the truth. But she by Sheree, who knows what she's given. It's just all kind of random shit just thrown out there at one time, I tell you. So yeah, 2 different numbers, but apparently if he's not up for parole, he has 2 more years. She says she's not gonna wait on him 2 more years. It was just like, but Sheree, you in love with this man? This your man. If you a ride or die like Tiny them, you supposed to stand by your man. This your man. And she was just like, yeah, but I'm not waiting 2 years. I still date. I'm human. It was just like, you date. Portia brought up a good question. She was just like, Sheree, why do you settle for this kind of relationship with this man when everybody around you can see that you definitely deserve better? Why don't you think that you deserve better as a woman? And she was just like, well, a lot of people are dating married men, but ain't nobody saying nothing about that. I was just like, oh, Sheree, girl. Just a mess. What else happened after that? They got on Nene and Kim, child. The ultimate match. I tell you, they've been arguing for about 9, 10, 200 years. They was going back and forth on the whole thing. Kenya jumped into it, of course. And they got on, basically Kim was just deflecting and lying the entire time. Kim and Kenya had got into it. Kenya was kind of going in on her kids and the whole situation. Kim lied, talking about she did not start some mess with Kenya on purpose at Nene's white party. You did, Kim. We all saw it. But like Portia said, just be honest and say that you was getting Kenya back for how she came at you at Sheree's grand opening of Chateau Sheree. Kim felt like Kenya was an asshole for going down to her basement. Somebody tells you not to do that, and which I do agree with that. Sheree, unfinished or not, Sheree told everybody to stay on the top level, and Kenya didn't. But it's the show, and Kenya was being messy. Kenya was being Kenya, and but like she said, like Kenya said, that it was definitely on both sides. The situation between Kenya and Sheree was between Kenya and Sheree. Kim didn't have to insert herself, but of course she did. Whatever. Kim and Sheree are very protective of each other, child, and both of y'all fight. Anyway, so they was going back and forth about that. Kim was just like, "Oh, ain't nobody jealous of you and your husband." She basically denied, said, "Oh, I didn't say her husband was fake and all that." And Kim, you talk as if we don't see the show, sis. We see all this on the show. Now, mind you, one thing we don't see on the show is all the details, all the different things that, goes on as to what leads to what moment. But we're never going to see that. Who knows what producers whispering and what's the name in such and such ear. Who knows, what situations they're involving, what two people they're putting in a room together, and they obviously don't like each other, but they put them in a room together, and then that's when magic happens, so to speak, at least for reality TV. So we know the gig, we know what happens, we know what goes on. So yeah, but Kim, girl, we was there. What else they got into? Kim and Candy, these K's. Kim and Candy, they got into it for a while about the whole insinuation of eating somebody's cat. They showed a clip of Sheree and Kim talking when Kim told Sheree that Candy offered to eat her box, lick her box, whatever. And Candy was just like, "I never offered to lick your box. What is you saying? I never offered to lick your box. Is you kidding me? Is you kidding me?" So, it was a mess with that. And, Kim was just like, "Girl, what is you talking about? You know what happened in the Bahamas?" Candy released some tea. Remember when Kim was playing like she was a lesbian, and when she used to go with DJ Tracy, apparently Kim was laid up in the bed with DJ Tracy while her kids, I think she just had the two girls at the time, Brielle and Ariana, while they was laid up doing whatever, and Kim was letting DJ Tracy do whatever DJ Tracy did to her. So, Kim, well, it's so funny. It just reminds me of, how people all of a sudden change and become, holier than thou and better than other people. And they try to tell you about your life, but they done danced on every table at every liquor house in the world. But now you trying to tell me I ain't saved? Girl, bah. So anyway, and she was just like, "Oh, I didn't have RHOA then, forget about that moment, that never happened, whoop to whoop." For us people who are not on TV, us normal folk, our past always hunts us. But when you're on TV and you've been on TV for as long as y'all have, y'all past are gonna keep coming up like constantly. Y'all saw how they kept shading y'all with those old looks that y'all used to give back in the day. So yeah, it's always gonna be a factor. It's always gonna be something, with that. So I don't know what these girls are thinking. It's to see why we don't, see each other, so to speak. Okay, Candy was just like, "Look, you acting like a fan. You sitting up on stage and, watching us, and you want to come here and try to start some stuff with me. I ain't bother you, whoop to whoop." And y'all know what they brought Kim for. They brought Kim back for the mess. She ain't had nothing else to do. She's not close to any of these ladies anymore like that, except for maybe Sheree. But I think that's fake, just for because neither one of them, both of them are on the outskirts, for the most part. So of course they ain't got nobody but each other, which is why Portia kind of linked up with Kim, so to speak, because she was on the outskirts because they ain't have nobody. So when people on the outside, they're gonna link up together to form a stronger union, because you ain't got nobody but each other at this point, because the other folks on the show ain't fooling with you like that. Similar to a season of Married to Medicine, when Lisa, Nicole, and Mariah yoked up and linked up, because they ain't have anybody else, to film with or whatever. So yeah, I get it. What else happened, child? So, child, was just a lot of back and forth, a lot of banter, darling. They got on the whole Roaches thing. Kim was just like, let me just sit here and just clear this whole thing up. A side note, when Kenya was going in on Kim, even though I don't rock with Kim like that, I do felt like she was doing a little much, because she kept like bringing up her kids and kept doing that and kept doing that over and over. Now, mind you, the little ones, I don't see the point of bringing the little ones up in the situation. But Brielle being 21, she's grown now. So, we can all say whatever we want to say about Brielle. And she's truly just an example of her mother. But that brings me to the whole Roaches thing. With Kim was just like, yeah, she came over to Nene's party, she took a picture in the bathroom, and then she posted it. And then Brielle said, one of her friends said, hey, did you not see those roaches in front of you? And she was just like, well, no, I didn't see it. And she deleted the photo. But she sent the photo to her mother. Kim kept it for collateral. Kim kept that shit to be messy and be petty, to bring that up, to say, look, Nene, if you ever come for me, I got something for your ass right here. Okay? And no, this is not what you think it is. It's lotion, I promise. Let's see each other. So yeah, so I was just like, Lord. And so basically, Kim, you just expose yourself. But with that said, still just taking pictures and shit, like, no, I just feel like you should just have permission to do that kind of stuff. But whatever, we live in that day and age where everything is about the gram, everything is about Snapchat, whoop to whoop. So Kim kept that, and Kim basically just sent that to be messy, and she did admit that without actually admitting that. She didn't even know what she was doing. It was like, Lord. They brought up the whole history of the whole roaches being associated with African American people, which was right. People equate roaches, with the projects and all that kind of stuff, that people have roaches in the projects, whoop to whoop. Born and raised in the projects myself, down here in Spartanburg, South Carolina. In my old apartment complex, we used to have roaches. I'm gonna keep it real. But also that apartment complex had been there about like 50, 60 years or so. So it was old, that having roaches and stuff doesn't necessarily make you, doesn't mean that you're a nasty person. Sometimes they're just in your spot, in apartments. Roaches can also be in houses. Now with that said, critters are more likely to be in older establishments. But critters can get in newer establishments as well. It is what it is, especially when you're in the South. So, I mean, hell. But, they told Kim right, it's just not cool for you to be doing that as a white woman. And this just kind of brings me... Hold on for a second, y'all. Hello? Uh-huh. Yes, it's Reserve at Hillcrest, and it's apartment 8E. Okay. All right, thank you. Ordering pizza, y'all. Duty calls. Fuck this review. I got to eat. But anyway, so yeah, they read Kim for filth about that. But one thing I was gonna say is I feel like we owe a duty as black people. If we have white friends, we owe a duty to tell them and let them know it's certain shit that's just not cool, sis. We can be friends. I'm not ever gonna call you out of your name if you don't ever call me out of my name. I'm not ever gonna say any kind of racial jokes or whatever around you if you don't do the same for me. And that should just be some simple things. You're not gonna be my friend. And just saying nigga left and right. That's just not. It's not just a word. Of course, it's just a word to you because it doesn't affect you. And to be honest, there's no negative connotation when it comes to calling somebody a cracker, but there is negative connotation when it comes to calling somebody a nigger. And you know, I don't even. To be honest, I use the word sometimes, but I rarely use it in my everyday life, you know, just because of what the word means and where it comes from. And that's just not how I speak, you know, on a normal basis. But you know, to be honest with you, we have some things that's just nigga shit, black folks, you know, whoop the wood, and shit that white people do. We all know that. So yeah, they should have read Kimberly for that, and they did, but she, of course, don't understand it. What else happened? It got to the point where Kimberly, she could not take it, so she and her red dress, they got up and left. It was getting too hot up in that kitchen for her, so she ended up leaving, and she left. What else happened? I think that's pretty much it, y'all. The build up to this part 3 was the most exciting thing, and the part 3 was good. And I can say that this is the first Atlanta reunion where they've had more than 2 parts, and it's been good the entire way. It's been good from part 1 to part 3. Last year when they had 4 parts, that was so unnecessary. And like 2 and 3 was tied and through. The first one was pretty good, and the fourth one was pretty good. But the fourth one was the one that had all the drama, of course. Same with this one. You know, Portia was enjoying her moment. She was playing devil advocate a little bit. And you know, hey, it is what it is. Hopefully it's done with the whole Portia and Candy feud. It is nice to see Candy and Nene get together and be cool with each other. Hopefully it lasts. My thing is, it won't. Because with Kim not being on the show, we're going to say she's not going to be on the show for next season. They have to have somebody to come for. And, you know, if the main enemy is not on the show, say like Kim or Marlo, they have to come for each other. So, you know, to keep the ratings and keep the spice going. So this whole kumbaya with the sisterhood, it's not going to last long, to be honest with y'all. I'm sure y'all know that as well. Okay. So what else? So it ended. You know, they all left, you know, feeling satisfied. And Kim was in the bathroom crying, acting a fool. She says that she just it was hard. She called Andy to come in there. She said it was just so hard, you know, having 5 African American women coming at her at one time. And she was just like, you know, now just because of social media, this whole racial thing is a thing. It wasn't a thing back then, and all this kind of crazy stuff. Once again, Kim, you don't know what you're talking about. Racism has always been here. It's just been certain things that have happened recently in the past few years that have made race a thing again. But race made it talked about more so. But racism has always been here. Prejudice, all that stuff, stereotypes, all this stuff is never going to go away, unfortunately. It's always this. United States is founded on racism, sis. You know, you would think with you having so many black friends that you would understand that and get it, but I forgot you don't see color. It's craziness, child. It is craziness. Hopefully you get it one day, but you probably won't, because you don't have to walk around being black every day. You know, because of the police brutality and you know, Trump and all kinds of stuff. You know, black people still can follow in and out of malls. Like, this stuff is real. It exists, and it's never gonna go anywhere, to be honest. And I wish it would. I wish we could all just become one and just be, just be one as a nation, no matter what race we are. But more than likely, it's never gonna happen. Which is crazy, because when you think about it, no matter what race you are, everybody comes from black people. But we have people who dislike blacks, and it's the whole thing. I'm not gonna make this video too long. Y'all know what tea is. Y'all know what it is, child. But yeah, season 10. To be honest with you, as a whole, was a letdown. Was tired and through, but the reunion definitely made up for it. They had some good moments in season 10, but for the most part, it was tired and through. So yes, I'd like to thank you guys for watching Real Housewives of Atlanta with me. It's always a joy to watch it when it comes on, and I'm gonna continue to be here and watch Real Housewives of Atlanta, boring or not, child. Now, I want you guys to tell me in the comment section who should come back for next season. What's tea? They say Tamar Braxton is coming on Real Housewives of Atlanta. I hope not. It's gonna be too gay. It's gonna be too much. Her and Nene together. Her. Imagine Tamar, Nene, Marlo, Kenya, okay, and Portia, like all at one time, and Candy. It's too many bosses. It's too many dominant personalities. It is not gonna work at all. And Nene and Tamar was friends, but now they're no longer friends, and so it's just gonna be a mess with them two bulls getting together. It's just gonna be crazy. I don't know. What y'all tell me? What should happen? Should Lisa Wu come back? Should somebody dig up Deshaun Snow and find her ass? And should her to come back? They say she got a new personality and a new dude. Should they bring Phaedra back? Lisa Wu? Should they finally make Marlo and Shamia housewives? Should Eva become a housewife? Child, you know they're gonna bring up Kevin McCall if she do. I don't know why she think this. We want to know who your sperm donor is, Eva. Child, it's gonna be a mess. Whatever happens, y'all tell me in the comments what y'all predict for season 11 of Real Housewives of Atlanta. It's just gonna be crazy. Should they bring Kim back? With that said, I'm Mr. Chalake. Mr. Chalako, Google Plus. Follow me at ItsKingsWorld, Instagram and Twitter. At ItsKingsWorld89 on Snapchat. Chase King on Facebook. All the good stuff. Like, comment, subscribe. And y'all stay tuned for more of my reviews of everything that I'm going to review, child. Love and Hip Hop, Braxton Family Values, Married to Medicine. What else is coming? Whatever is coming. Just watch my channel and just subscribe and tell a friend and all that. So, you'll see and be excited. Remember, we see each other. Where is your scooter?